What is up, guys? Today I'm doing another what if. I'm doing what if Naruto had a Death Note part 2. And if you guys want to see part 2, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, just do all that stuff. And I'll make part 3 as fast as possible. And now we can just get right into the video. It's been a week since Naruto had gotten the Death Note. And in that time, Naruto had already killed over 200 people with it. But that didn't matter to Naruto. There was more people for him to kill with the Death Note, and he was gonna do that. So, after Naruto was done training with Team 7, he went straight back to his house to write more names in the Death Note. Once Naruto had gone to his home, he grabbed the Death Note, ready to write some more names into it, when he heard something behind him. He turned around to see what it was, and to him, it looked like some type of monster. What Naruto saw was Ryuk. Naruto was so shocked at seeing Ryuk, he fell out of his chair. Naruto looked up at the monster in fear, and then he asked what it was, only for Ryuk to laugh at him. Ryuk then looked at Naruto and said that his name was Ryuk, introducing himself. He would then go on to say that he was the owner of the Death Note. Well, he used to be the owner of the Death Note before Naruto took it. Ryuk then explained everything to Naruto, telling him how the Death Note works and what he really was. Naruto was in complete shock. He couldn't believe Ryuk was real. But if the Nine Tails was real, then maybe Ryuk was real too. After all, he was standing right in front of him. Naruto, with a shaky voice, would then ask Ryuk, Are you gonna take my soul? Naruto would ask. Ryuk would just laugh at Naruto. No, he wasn't gonna take his soul. After all, Naruto owned the Death Note now that he had touched it. Ryuk would then say to Naruto, No, I'm not gonna do anything to you, kid. You own the Death Note now. It's your book. I'm just here to see how this goes. Naruto and Ryuk would continue talking to each other for the rest of the night, all the way to the morning. The next day, Naruto would go to Training Ground 7 to meet up with his team, but this time, when Kakashi had arrived 3 hours late again, he had brought papers with him. Yeah, you guessed it, it's time for the tutoring exams. Kakashi would then explain the tutoring exams to Naruto and Sasuke, just as he did in canon. Kakashi would then let Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura have the day off instead of training them. Naruto would then use this free time to start experimenting with his Death Note, seeing how he can kill people in other ways and how he can control people. And by the time he had finished and the tutoring exams had started, he had learned a lot about the Death Note, and he had trained a lot too. Now the first part of the training exams, everything would happen as in canon, except this time Naruto won't challenge Rock Lee to fight and just get bodied completely by him. And Naruto is still a little smarter than he was in canon, but it's not a huge amount, so it's not gonna change anything. He's still pretty dumb, to be honest. So everything would still happen the same. He would still give his speech at the end, and he would pass. So now we're gonna move on to the Forest of Death. Everything would happen the same in the Forest of Death because, well, there's no one that Naruto keeps the Death Note on, but he would get a warning from Ryuk that someone is following him, but it wouldn't really change a lot. Only Orochimaru would come out faster, maybe, but Naruto still can't do anything because he would have no idea what his name is, and that's not Orochimaru's true face, so yeah. So Sasuke would still get the curse mark in this what if, but this is gonna change something in Naruto. Before he thought that the Death Note gave him unlimited power, that no one could beat him, right? But now we would realize that he would have to train harder, because there's just some people he can't kill. Some people he won't even know the names to. But now we can move on to the preliminaries of the tutoring exams, so yeah, this is gonna change a lot. While Naruto was watching the preliminaries fights, he would realize that he actually really did need to get stronger. Because what was the point of having the Death Note when people can just kill him before he could even write their names in it? That would strengthen his belief in training, and he would start training right after this. After that, everything would still happen the same, though. Naruto would take notice of Gaara because he would see that this guy is like crazy. What he would do to Rock Lee, crushing all of his bones, like that would shock Naruto. He would realize this guy's like crazy. So mostly everything happens the same. Like all the other fights happen the same. Naruto versus Kiba is probably the same too, and Naruto would still make his promise to beat Neji as well. So not too much actually has changed yet in the story. But now, here comes the tuning exams, and there's gonna be a lot of change now. Naruto would meet Jiraiya just as he did in canon. Everything would kind of still be the same so far, but it's gonna start changing by the tuning exams. Just trust. So, yeah. Also, by this point, Naruto would have learned a lot about the Death Note. Probably the same amount of information Light had learned at this point. So, yeah, Naruto would always keep a piece of the Death Note on him, just like Light did as well. So, we'll just go back into the tuning exams now. The fight would happen the same as it did in canon, but there'd be a difference this time. Naruto was paying attention more to what Neji had talked about the Hyuga clan and their curse seal. Naruto was shocked about learning the curse seal. That was something of pure evil. That was like what Naruto had to go through. People always looking at him, acting like they were better. And Naruto just couldn't believe it. That there was a whole group of people doing that and suffering like how he had to. Naruto would keep that in the back of his mind. He had to do something about that after this fight. But even though Naruto felt bad for what happened to Neji, he wasn't gonna let him win. Naruto had to win this. Neji couldn't go unpunished for what he did to Hinata. Hinata was a good person. Naruto knew that. She was evil. She wanted to change the ways of her clan. And Naruto had realized that when talking to her those few times. Naruto would be more brutal when he was fighting Neji. After all, he couldn't let Neji go unpunished for what he did. What he did was also evil, and he had to be punished for it. But he wasn't gonna forget what the Hyuga clan did. They would also have to pay for their crimes. Sasuke would still show up late, just like he did in canon, and he would have to fight Gaara now, so that would happen just like it did in canon, so we'll just go what would happen next. Naruto would also still get put under a genjutsu and will fall asleep, because that really doesn't change. He hasn't practiced with genjutsu a lot, so yeah, he would be woken up by Sakura, and he would leave to go chase down Gaara and Sasuke. Naruto would then fight Gaara just like he did in canon, up until the point Naruto was in the sand coffin, who would summon Buta. But now, no one could see him actually. Sasuke couldn't see what Naruto was actually doing now properly, and Gamabuta couldn't see him as well. This was his only chance to write Gaara's name into the last piece of paper he had of the Death Note. And so, Naruto decided to do that. He began writing Gaara's name, but there was just one problem. He didn't know what Gaara's last name was. Ryuk began laughing. He couldn't believe it. How could Naruto forget the name of his enemy? Like, he only knew the first part? How could he? I mean, Ryuk didn't know what his last name was, but he could just take a look at him and find out. By the way, guys, like, in canon, they do not reveal Gaara's last name. Like, I've never actually heard what his last name was, so if you know what it is, write it in the comments. Like, I'm not sure if it's like 100% true that they never reveal his name, but like, I never heard of it. I never heard what his last name was. So if you know what it is, just type it down. Also, I don't think Ryuk would tell Naruto what his last name is, but like, through this whole what if, Naruto kind of really hasn't used the Death Note so far. So you know what? I'm just gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give him the win, just like that. Goodbye, Gaara, you're dead. So, Ryuk would laugh at Naruto's face and would tell him his last name. Naruto would thank Ryuk and promise him a lot of apples after this. So Naruto would write that Gaara would die by a hail of kunai hitting his entire body, killing him instantly in the next 40 seconds, or he would just die of a heart attack. So Naruto began just spamming kunais everywhere until Gaara finally died. Also, I don't know what would happen if Gaara died. Like, does Shikaku just get out immediately? Is he good, or does he also die along with him? Or what happens? Like, I don't personally know, but I'm just gonna say that he also dies along with him. I want the story to be a little simpler. So, yeah. Also, I'm just gonna say that Shikaku just doesn't reform immediately. Like, he's gonna reform like a year in someplace else. I don't want him to just spawn on the village one day. So, he reforms somewhere else. So, yeah. I'm just gonna continue to the rest of the video. After that, everything happens just as it did in canon. He would go with Jiraiya to find Tsunade, and that was what would happen. But on his way there, he would meet a few people and learn about some things. He would learn about the Akatsuki. Without learning all of this and learning who some of the members are, he only knew who 3 were 100%. The first 2 who they will know about would be Itachi and Kisame. The next one would be Orochimaru. They would have learned that Orochimaru had joined the Akatsuki a long time ago, but some time ago had abandoned it. Jiraiya would also tell Naruto that they always work in teams of 2. So Naruto, learning of this, would decide to kill Kisame and then leave Itachi to live. If Itachi lived, he would then need another partner, and that would mean that Naruto could learn of another Akatsuki member. So, Naruto wrote down Kisame's name, and he died. But there was something Naruto didn't know. There was someone, or something, that was watching him. Someone that not even Ryuk could notice. That's right. It was a black Zetsu. And he could also see Ryuk. But that's where I'm gonna leave it off, guys. Yeah, I know I left it on a cliffhanger, but like, if you guys want to see the next part, just like and comment, And if you do know what Gaara's last name is, please comment. I really actually want to know. I've never heard of it. And if you also know what Orochimaru's last name is, please comment that too, because I've never heard what that is also. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna upload again. It was a month, Sorry it took a while to make, but I think this was the most fun I've ever had making a what if. And I'm just gonna keep uploading now. I'm gonna try to upload faster now, but at least it's better than a whole year, So yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, and see you in the next video.